Welcome back to Alien Professor. Today we are talking about something that will ruin your childhood, or at least your Jurassic Park poster. Did the Tyrannosaurus Rex have lips? Like actual lizard lips covering those giant teeth?
Wait, you are telling me the most iconic movie monster of all time might have had lip gloss potential?
Not quite lip gloss, but yes. Recent scientific research suggests T-Rex and other theropod dinosaurs probably had scaly lips that covered their teeth when their mouths were closed, much like modern lizards or Komodo dragons. This completely contradicts the classic toothy grin we have seen in movies and museums for decades.
So, Hollywood lied to me. Again. Classic humans.
Let us be fair. Hollywood worked with the best science available at the time, but science evolves. And now we have new evidence that is forcing paleontologists to rethink everything.
Okay, explain to me like I just landed on this planet yesterday. Why would a giant murder lizard need lips? What is the point?
Great question. Lips serve several important functions in reptiles. First, they protect the teeth from drying out. Tooth enamel is tough, but it is not indestructible. If teeth are constantly exposed to air, they dry out and degrade faster. Second, lips help keep the mouth moist and functional. Third, they provide a protective barrier against damage. Modern crocodiles do not have lips, and their teeth show significant wear patterns. Lizards with lips, much less wear.
So lips are basically dental insurance for dinosaurs.
In a way, yes. Now, the debate over dinosaur lips has been going on for years. Traditionally, many paleontologists assumed theropods like T-Rex were lipless, similar to crocodiles. The reasoning was that their skulls had rough, textured bone surfaces around the mouth, which in crocodiles correlates with scaly, lipless skin. Plus, their teeth were huge. How could lips even cover them?
Sounds logical. So what changed? Did someone find a fossilized dinosaur with chapstick?
Not quite, but close. In March 2023, a team of researchers led by Thomas Cullen from Auburn University published a study in the journal Science. They compared the skulls and teeth of theropod dinosaurs with modern reptiles, both lipless ones like crocodiles and lipped ones like lizards and monitor lizards. They measured tooth size, jaw length, enamel wear patterns, and bone textures.
Ha ha ha. Nerd metrics. Got it. What did they find?
Several key findings. First, theropod teeth were not actually larger relative to their skull size than the teeth of modern monitor lizards, which have lips. A Komodo dragon has massive teeth, and they fit comfortably behind lips. So the teeth too big argument does not hold up. Second, theropod teeth showed wear patterns consistent with being protected by soft tissue, not constantly exposed. Third, the bone texture argument is not as clear-cut as previously thought. Young tyrannosaurs and smaller theropods had smooth facial bones, similar to lizards. Older, larger T-Rex individuals had rougher bone, but that might just reflect age or individual variation, not necessarily the presence or absence of lips.
So the rough bone thing that scientists used to say no lips might just mean the dinosaur had a bad skincare routine when it got older.
That is one way to put it. The researchers also pointed out that even if some very large old T-Rex individuals lost their lips over time, that would be unusual. There is no modern analogy for reptiles losing lips as they age. It is more likely they had lips throughout life.
Okay, but I have seen crocodiles. They do fine without lips. Their teeth stick out, they look terrifying, and they have survived for millions of years. Why could T-Rex not do the same thing?
Excellent point. Crocodiles are semi-aquatic. They spend a lot of time in water, which keeps their mouths and teeth moist. They do not have the same drying problem that a fully terrestrial animal would face. Also, crocodile teeth are conical and designed to grab and hold prey, not slice it. They are replaced constantly throughout the crocodile's life. Theropod teeth, on the other hand, were blade-like with serrated edges, used for cutting meat. Those kinds of teeth are more vulnerable to wear and damage if constantly exposed to air.
So T-Rex needed lips because it lived on land and had fancy steak knives for teeth. Got it. But here's my issue. If dinosaurs had lips, why did it take scientists so long to figure this out? Did everyone just copy Hollywood and call it a day?
Not exactly. The lipless T-Rex image became popular partly because of early paleontological reconstructions in the mid-20th century, and partly because of media influence. Jurassic Park in 1993 cemented the toothy, lipless look in popular culture. It looked scary and alien, which made for great cinema. But even back then, some paleontologists were skeptical. The problem was lack of direct evidence. Soft tissues like lips do not fossilize easily, so scientists had to rely on indirect evidence, bone structure, tooth wear, and comparisons with modern animals.
So basically, everyone guessed, and Hollywood made the scariest guess the default.
More or less. But science is self-correcting. As new data and better comparative methods became available, researchers revisited old assumptions. The 2023 study by Cullen and colleagues used detailed measurements and statistical comparisons that were not possible decades ago. They also had better understanding of modern reptile biology.
Fine. So lips are in. I accept that. But what did these lips actually look like? Are we talking human lips? Lizard lips? Fish lips?
Lizard lips. Definitely lizard lips. Not muscular and flexible like mammal lips. Theropod lips would have been scaly, relatively stiff, and probably did not move much. Think of a Komodo dragon or a monitor lizard. When their mouths are closed, you do not see teeth. The lips form a tight seal around the jaw. That is what T-Rex probably looked like. When the mouth was closed, the teeth were hidden. When it opened its mouth to bite, the lips would pull back, revealing the teeth.
So less Mick Jagger, more angry iguana.
Exactly. And this changes how we should reconstruct these animals in art, museums, and media. Paleontologist Mark Whitten, one of the co-authors of the study, said it is time for a big shakeup in how we depict theropods in popular culture. Museums and documentaries are already starting to update their models.
Ha ha ha! I can already hear the Jurassic Park fans crying into their merchandise.
Change is hard, especially when an image is so iconic. But accuracy matters. Science is not about preserving nostalgia. It is about following the evidence.
Okay, but not everyone agrees, right? I assume some scientists are still Team No Lips.
Correct. Thomas Carr, a paleontologist at Carthage College, published research in 2017 suggesting that Tyrannosaur facial bones had textures similar to crocodile skin, which would imply a scaly, lipless snout. He has publicly stated he is not convinced by the 2023 lip study. His argument is that the bone surface textures are strong indicators of the overlying soft tissue, and in T-Rex, those textures look more like crocodile than lizard.
So one group says look at the teeth and wear patterns, and the other says look at the bone texture. Who is right?
Both groups are using legitimate scientific methods, but they are weighing different types of evidence. The lip proponents argue that tooth size, wear, and comparisons with living reptiles are more reliable indicators. The lip skeptics argue that bone texture is a direct anatomical clue that should not be ignored. The truth is, without a fossil mummy with preserved facial skin, we cannot be 100% certain.
Wait, fossil mummy?
Yes, occasionally, dinosaur fossils are found with skin impressions or even mummified soft tissue. If we found a well-preserved theropod head with skin intact around the mouth, that would settle the debate immediately. But such fossils are extremely rare. Until then, we rely on indirect evidence and debate.
So the ultimate answer is we need a dinosaur mummy, but we do not have one. So scientists argue at conferences instead.
That is a fair summary. But this is how science works. New evidence leads to new hypotheses, which lead to more research, which sometimes overturns old ideas. The lip hypothesis is now the leading scientific consensus based on the best available data. But it is not closed. More fossils, more comparisons, and more analysis could still shift the picture.
Fine. Let us say T-Rex had lips. Does this change anything important? Or is this just paleontologists arguing about cosmetics?
It is more than cosmetics. How we reconstruct extinct animals affects how we understand their biology, behavior, and ecology. If T-Rex had lips, that tells us something about how it fed, how it maintained its teeth, and how it compared to other predators. It also reminds us that our mental image of dinosaurs is always incomplete and subject to revision. Every generation of scientists updates the picture based on better tools and better data. That is the beauty of paleontology. The past is not static. Our understanding of it evolves.
So you are saying my kids will probably see a completely different T-Rex than I did. Maybe one with feathers, lips, and a gym membership.
Feathers are already confirmed for many smaller theropods, and possibly some juvenile tyrannosaurs. So yes, your kids will see a more accurate, and perhaps less movie monster-like version of these animals. And that is a good thing.
I guess. But I will miss the nightmare fuel version.
You can still appreciate the science and the scariness. A 12-meter long, 6-ton predator with bone-crushing jaws is terrifying, whether or not it has lips.
Fair point. Okay, last question. If T-Rex had lips, does that mean all the museum skeletons and models are wrong now?
Not wrong, just outdated. Many museums are already updating their displays based on this research. The Field Museum in Chicago, which houses the famous T-Rex specimen Sue, was directly involved in the study. Sue's measurements were part of the dataset. So expect to see more lipped dinosaurs in museums, books, and documentaries going forward. It will take time, but the shift is happening.
And Jurassic Park?
Hollywood does what Hollywood does. Accuracy is not always the priority, but maybe future dinosaur films will feature more scientifically up-to-date creatures. Or maybe they will just keep the toothy look because it is more dramatic.
So in summary, T-Rex probably had lizard lips. Scientists figured this out by comparing teeth and bones with modern reptiles. Some experts still disagree. Museums are updating, and Jurassic Park lied to us. Humans? Really?
That is a pretty solid summary. The key takeaway is that science is always refining our picture of the past. What we thought we knew about dinosaurs 10 years ago is not the same as what we know today. And 10 years from now, we will probably know even more.
Great. So I should just assume everything I learned as a kid is wrong?
Not wrong, just incomplete. That is the nature of learning.
If you want to keep up with the latest science that keeps rewriting your childhood, subscribe to Alien Professor, where we question everything, especially the stuff you thought you knew.
Hit like if you are Team Lips. Comment if you are still Team No Lips. And subscribe if you want more videos where we ruin iconic movie monsters with facts.
And remember, your universe is stranger than you think.
Stay curious, and maybe go check if your old dinosaur toys need a makeover.